Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background with alcohol, your personal background?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I was in radio. I mean, that was basically my identity since I was 5. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be on the radio. It's going to be so cool. And so I pursued it. I did it. And I loved it at the beginning. And then somewhere along the way, I kind of lost my passion for it. And that, looking back on it now, was a big part of why I started drinking as heavily as I did, because I wasn't feeling connected to what I was doing on a daily basis. And so I was in the comfort zone, I had a really good job. It was fun. And I had everything on paper looked like it was all working out. But on the inside, I was unhappy. And so this is what kept me kind of in that comfort zone and drinking heavier and heavier. So I basically was drinking very heavy for, I would say, about 15 years. And, in the last 4 or 5 of those years, I would try to quit. And I would read, as they call it, quit lit books. There's a lot of really good books out there about stopping drinking and all this stuff. And I'd get all fired up. And I would stop for a little bit, or I would do like a dry January and all this kind of stuff. And I found myself like kind of white knuckling it through the whole thing, and like waiting for day 31 when I could go back to drinking. And what I was realizing was I wasn't quite ready to quit. That was the biggest hurdle. And I actually just did a video on TikTok about this exact subject. It's like, many people want to quit because we go through this cycle of waking up in the morning feeling like garbage and going, I'm never going to do this again. And something happens throughout the day where it's like, okay, I'm starting to think about it again. 5, 6 o'clock rolls around and we're right back into it. It's just a vicious, vicious cycle. And so, I would try to quit. I would go for a little bit and feel really good. But then I just was like, I would go back to it. And I couldn't understand why. And it wasn't until the universe kind of forced me to look at my life and go, all right, if I want to get to where I really want to get to, if I want to get the life that I know I'm meant for and where I want to be, alcohol just can no longer be a part of it. And so there's a bunch of stuff that I had to do, but really a switch flipped in me. And I just said, I'm a non-drinker from this moment on. I'm not going to track my days anymore and see how many days I can go without drinking this time. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say from this moment on, I'm a non-drinker. And so that's really what worked for me. And there's a lot of stuff that I did alongside of it when I help my clients do, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Okay. So what was there a moment that, an aha moment that finally you said, okay, what was the moment that flipped your switch?
There was a lot. When my daughter, she was 4 at the time, she started saying things like, Daddy, we got to go to the beer store. We're out of beer. Or, Daddy, you want me to bring you another drink? And she drew a picture of me sitting on the couch with a drink in my hand watching TV. And that's how she saw me. And that was the biggest thing, because both of my parents died when I was young, and they were very young. I was 19 and they died 41 days apart from each other. My mom was 49, my dad was 54. And I just got to thinking, I have a daughter now, and why am I doing this? If I can prevent myself from dying at a young age and leaving her without her dad, because I know how painful it is, why would I not do something about it? And that was the threshold moment for me, I would say, that made me go, all right, I got to do something about this.
So Janet, what kind of questions did you have for Chris?
So Chris, I'm assuming it's not just your daughter and your relationship that it was affecting. Tell us how it was affecting people around you in your relationships.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is nobody outside of my wife would have ever even known that I drank as much as I did. It was one of those situations where I suffered in silence for many years, and most people do, because of the fact that we see it everywhere. In our society, alcohol is glamorized, and we don't want to be the odd ones out. So we just kind of go, I must be the weird one here that's struggling with this. I got to figure out how to do it on my own. So I mean, none of my coworkers, the listeners, when I worked in radio, other than maybe a few embarrassing times when I may have said some drunken things, probably would have had no clue that I was drinking the way that I was. I mean, I would drink enough to pass out on my couch and basically blackout almost on a nightly basis. So I was drinking like at least a 12-pack of beer, and then I would make sure that I would have to have some vodka or something else in the house to knock me out in case the 12 beers didn't do the trick. Because I got to the point where I just didn't think I could fall asleep without alcohol. I had built up all these lies after years and years of drinking that I had believed that I needed alcohol. And, I would tell my wife many times, like, this is it. I got to stop. I'm going to stop. And I would quit for a little bit and I'd go back. And it's not like my wife, she was a drinker too. She wasn't drinking as much as I did. But she, it's kind of like at some point you have to kind of just do it. You can't keep talking about it because people are tired of hearing about it. And so not only did it impact me and my daughter and her, she also now, she saw the benefits that I was experiencing without alcohol, and she decided to quit too. And she just hit her 1-year mark on September 1st. So here we are, both sober now, both completely in a different place than we were. If you would have asked us 2 years ago if we'd be sober and loving it, I would have said you're crazy. But it's one of those things where until you do it, until you get far enough away from alcohol, you can't really describe to people how amazing it is and how many different areas of your life it's affecting.